Firstly, we have to observe ourselves and really get to know what is our relationship with Him and how is our devotion unto Him. But as Lord Krishna said, He can be attained only by single-pointed faith and devotion. In Bhagavatam, He said it in Canto 11, chapter 14, verse 21. He said that only through that single-pointed minded devotion that He can be attained. So when we see that, when Bhagwan Himself, give a clear understanding of how He can be attained, we have to observe our relationship with Him. And one thing is that we should not compare ourselves, into that. Very often devotees compare themselves. You have to be natural, you have to be who you are, you have to be, because the Lord have created you the way you are. And through you, He remind His relationship to you. And He remind that He loves you the way you are. You don't need to be different. Just love Him. And into that, observe your loving service. When you're rendering your service, knows that He is with you. Each moment, whatever you're doing in your life, it is part of His mission. He's so loving because He wants to be part of your life. Very often people don't want to be part of Him. We rather forget God and attach oneself to the world. Very rare one forget the world and attach themselves to God. You're talking in your question about oneself. Firstly, that self itself is part of Him. He's seated, inside of your heart. Chapter 10, verse 20 of Bhagavad Gita, He said, I am seated in the heart of all being. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all being. So if Bhagwan Himself say that, that He is seated within the core of your heart, what is that not clear about? He, that idea, firstly, who have been put inside of you. He is the one which take control and make everything happen. And at the end, everything that disappeared is go back to Him. So He is the beginning, the middle, and the end of everything. Here again, you see Bhagwan reminding who He is. And in that context, He's reminding of that eternal self itself, that self is part of Him. And He's the indweller of that. So He presides within that Atma itself. So once you get to know that, once you get to let your mind be really absorbed into that He is not far away there. He's not a God which is seated in a cloud somewhere, but He's the Lord which is seated in a loving relationship within the core of your heart. So He's calling you at each moment to build a relationship with Him. And to know that you are never alone, that He's with you at all time. There was not a single time that you were alone. From the moment you incarnate into this world, throughout, until the end, He is with you. He is the only one which will never criticize you for your mistake. He will never judge you. He said, well, there's endless possibilities. Learn from it and move forward. Take whatever come into your life as a blessing. Of course, when you are going through that, it's quite difficult sometimes. but knowing that He's with you in every moment. You are not alone. This world will come, it will pass. Everything have a time limit. Problem arise, it have a limited time, it will go away. Good things arise, it have a time limit, it will go away. That's why I say don't attach to these things, attach to Him inside of you. So when you are doing your service, when you are doing your spiritual practice, for whom are you doing that? You're doing for Him. So at each moment, you observe for your mind not to deviate itself, your mind not to run away. You keep your mind centered. You keep your mind focused. It's good to observe, but if you just sit there and compare yourself, then it is difficult. So let your mind be steady, let your mind be single-pointed, let your mind be clear of what you want. And note one thing is that Bhagwan, like Plato said himself, behind every chair there's an idea. So I will say behind every single human being there is a divine plan. And He has planned, He's carrying you, He's taking you onto this journey of rediscovering yourself. That's why He come, in the form of Guru, saints, sadhus, He come to remind. He's come also in the form of experience of life. So to remind you of His relationship with Him. But you can find Him wherever you are, whatever you do. Embrace that idea, firstly, that universal idea that He is with you. You are not alone, That it's not a God that you have to look for Him elsewhere when He's seated inside of your heart. What you have to do is increase the dose of love. Once you increase the dose of love, you will see that love is such a contaminating gift which you have given, but you can only share it, you can't keep it only for yourself.